Hello, everyone, and welcome to Everything Under the Moon. I am your host for this evening. My name is Becky Gydesen, and with me tonight I have my co-host Kyyra. How are you doing, Kyyra?
I am doing okay, except for the world outside trying to kill me. My
Uh-oh.
allergies are extremely bad if you can't tell by my voice. So I apologize in advance to everybody. I'm gonna try to meet myself when I have to cough and all that stuff. But literally, I'm having to wear a mask when I go outside, and it's just like to and from my car, like from work and stuff. I forgot to put my mask on. 20 seconds, I couldn't breathe through my nose. So
Oh,
that's what I'm dealing with right now.
Oh,
What
no.
about you, Becky?
I know it's been kind of windy, I know, here in Tucson. I know you're kind of more towards the Phoenix area, so not exactly the same weather, but almost the same weather.
Mhm.
I know it's hot again, though.
Oh
I
yes.
know Phoenix
Was it?
gets
Did it hit the
hotter than
90s?
Tucson. Yeah, we're in
Did it
like
hit 90 yet for
88.
you?
I think it's been like 88. We haven't actually gotten to the 90s yet.
We did. It was 93 on Saturday. I think it was one of the days. It was in the 90s.
Yeah, so it's been warm again here, and I know people back east are still suffering through snow and everything. So we're lucky, but yeah, the allergies can kick up with that wind and all that stuff coming into bloom again for the spring and all that lovely stuff. I know it's been a couple weeks since we've had a show. Well, more than a couple weeks since we've had a show. A lot has happened, and we have so much, going on, especially me. I personally have had a lot going on that we'll get to later in the show, but I don't want to keep our guest waiting. So tonight we are welcoming Ted and Robyn, but Robyn's kind of out and about right now taking care of a new little puppy. So, well, until she comes and joins us, we'll go ahead and welcome Ted. How are you doing tonight?
doing great, Becky. Thanks so much. And hi, Kara. I hope you feel better soon. Oh, nothing worse. And thanks. Yeah, Robyn will probably make an appearance here before too long. We'll maybe have to swap off puppy duty a little bit. It's 9 weeks old, and we are a little adventurous, to say the least. So,
Oh yes, that puppy energy. You can't beat
yep.
that. I actually found an old video of my puppy Ariel, and I just posted it to my TikTok today where she got into the water bowl and she was getting the water out of the bowl with her paws, and she like literally flooded my kitchen.
Of
And
course.
I had to take video of it because it was, funny. But then I was like, that's bad, Ariel. You're not supposed to do that. And right afterwards, she got out, but then she just kind of looked at me and got right back in the water bowl.
Oh.
But that puppy energy and that puppy adventure and all that stuff. Yeah.
You know what
It's a
though? It's fun, right? I mean, it's the stuff they do, but it's still great. I think we all agree it's fun to have critters, and if you can do it, it's just it's rewarding. It makes life interesting and fun, and a little less lonely.
Oh yes. I always say, if I wasn't working with ghosts, I would be working with animals. And technically now I'm going to be doing both because I went back to school.
Ooh,
So I went back to college and I'm actually taking online courses and I'm taking marine biology.
ooh, cool,
So I will be working with animals once I get this degree. So I
nice.
always say animals and ghosts, that's, my passion in life. And whenever people ask me, well, aren't you scared of the ghost part? I'm like, no, it's the people that scare me. This is why I prefer to work with the ghost and the animals because people are the scary part.
Scary,
I think we can all agree with that, right? People are the
indeed.
scary part of everything. So Ted, I know Robyn's not there, but I'm going to let you kind of take control for a couple minutes and tell us where you're from and what it is that you do.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Ted Williams. My wife, Robyn Davis, and I live in Galena, Illinois, and we own the Haunted Galena Tour Company. We also operate a historic property called the Dowling House here in town, and we have a retail shop that's called A Darkness Lovely. To touch on each of those, starting in 2001, I began and did the first ghost tours here in Galena. And we've been doing them since. We took a brief hiatus for a while and reformulated our corporate identity. we've been doing the Haunted Galena tour company now for about 8 years, and it's gone great. We're having a great time with it. But Galena is an old city. It was founded in 1826 because lead had been discovered in the area, and lead back then was worth almost as much as silver and gold. So people came, crashing into this area trying to make their fortunes. The place explodes. By 1855, Galena is not only the biggest city in Illinois, it's the wealthiest. And so it had really been a boom town, if you will. But then things kind of peter out as we push further west. New supplies of lead are discovered. That drives the price of lead way down. A lot of the miners leave here to go to the gold rush in California. Long story short, the city empties out. At one point in the 1850s, we hit 15,000 people, but that rapidly declines. And pretty soon the town is a borderline ghost town. I mean, it never gets completely empty, but its population goes down to 1,500, 2,000 people from 15,000. So we had a lot of old buildings here. I'd compare it a little bit to like a Jerome in your neck of the woods, which is a great site. Robyn and I have been to and we love. So anyway, Galena is pretty famous for being one of the few places that you can go where the entire downtown of the city is on the National Historic Register. It's one of the largest intact historic register places in the country, and that makes it really exciting. And it's a small town in a sense. We only have about 3,100 people here today, but we do have quite a few legitimately haunted spots. And the neat thing is we get about 1 million to 1.5 million visitors here a year, and people through here experience these entities, right? And it happens over and over again. That's kind of exciting because what it demonstrates is that this is actually a real phenomenon. It's not just kind of one-off stuff. We get these reports over and over again from these different sites. I have Robyn Davis, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, I just want to add something about that. What's interesting is back in the 1800s, they were reporting hauntings in different locations and kind of attributing them to certain events. And to this day, what's so interesting is people are reporting the same sightings, the same things happening that were reported in the 1800s newspapers. And it's really interesting because they don't know what was in the 1800s newspapers. So it's really an interesting thing. So there's certain sites where for decades, even over 100 years, some of the same phenomena has been happening. And unfortunately, I have to go find the puppy. But
the puppy break is now over.
The puppy break's now over.
So, Galena is an interesting city in that respect. People ask me, is it more haunted than other places in the U.S.? And I don't really think so. But the places that we do have that are haunted are demonstrably so. And so because of the amount of people that we get through here, and bear in mind, most of these old buildings here in town, and all of Main Street is, 1826 to, 1875, a lot of really great old buildings, are legitimately haunted, and people report those over and over again. So we don't have more ghosts necessarily, but we have a greater frequency of reporting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The people encounter this stuff. And so we have a lot of reports of ghosts. And if you look at it at that level, people think, wow, you are just haunted like crazy, right? But actually, it's just that there's, a solid like 25, 26 buildings that are pretty hairy out there. And what happens is that they get seen all the time and reported by people visiting. So that makes it kind of cool. It's a great laboratory for paranormal research and for paranormal experience. And once a year, we do run the Haunted Galena Conference here in town. There's an old hotel on Main Street called the DeSoto House, and it's actually the oldest continually operated hotel in the state of Illinois. We rent the whole thing out, and we do the conference there, and we have investigations at a couple different places in the city, and they always turn up just great evidence and some really creepy stuff. So that makes it fun too. And our historic site, the Dowling House, has also been a fairly rich ground for paranormal photography, especially apparitional type things, a lot of orbs, and people who have experiences there too. That's not a haunted tour. That's a historic tour, but things can get weird in there a little, so that makes it kind of fun too.
Right. It's always fun when you can have the history and the weird stuff going on. I'm sure Kyyra agrees with that because she's our historian.
Hey. Oh, very good.
Yes. Yes. Give me all the history. Give me all the spooky stuff. I love when you can combine it and everything like that.
We couldn't agree more, Kyyra. As a matter of fact, Robyn has her undergrad degree in history, and is really, really. I don't want to use the word a stickler, but let's just say she's very dedicated to determining the true history of these different haunts, and then knowing that history and what was going on, it helps assign some motive and maybe some understanding to the haunting itself, which also benefits us. But I think the two run hand in hand, and our big thing has always been to be historically as accurate as we can. Obviously, with paranormal and ghostly phenomenon, we can report what we feel, our field research gives us and what people have testified to, right? But it's still largely speculative and or perspective based, whereas the historical record in most cases is pretty clear. So that's kind of a neat thing, and I'm glad you said that. So because that's exactly our kind of mission statement, is to operate with a great deal of as much historical integrity as we can, but still be creepy and spooky.
Right, exactly. And that's one reason why, one of our focuses is to help other, tour companies like yourself, because when you're the small local tour, you tend to dig into that history and you tend to do that studying and that research, unlike some of those other tours that move in and don't really belong there. And, they just kind of use AI and they get their history and stories from there. They don't, put their heart and soul into it. And any good, paranormal team, any good, ghost tour, they're going to put that heart and soul into that. And they're really going to take the time to look up that history and dig into it and, do that research. And luckily I have Kyyra that really goes down those rabbit holes for me. So
yes. I love doing it. It's almost at the point, it's like where it's meditative. I'm like, I'm trying to find the answer to the problem. I just go farther and farther. It gets meditative after a certain point. And I'm like, it's been 2 hours. Oh, wouldn't have even known, right?
Keep going, right? I love that. We get lost in it too, and you're right. And you turn around, and a day can be gone. It's really fun though doing it. It's rewarding work too. We learn a lot more about the people involved in our haunts than oftentimes was initially published. And like you here, Robyn here, hi Robyn, digs up just really cool facts that we didn't know. And there's a lot of our stories we kind of had a base understanding of. And in some cases, we've had to revise because the historical record that Robyn digs up has countermanded some of our, seances. So when that happens, we don't get twitchy or weird about it. We immediately, dial it in to where it needs to be.
We're very lucky because Galena started out as a city in 1826, and they kept all the records. They've got all the newspapers, they have all the court documents, they have all the assessments. And they haven't been burned up in a fire or something. Or
yeah. That's what we keep running into here.
But so you can dig back, and it's funny. One night I had read in an old, probably from the 1940s, newspaper article that there was this murder, and it was about a 2-second. He's got the dog now. Sorry. Okay. He's going to show you the dog, I guess. There.
This is what's keeping us busy. Right?
We're always up to see animals. That's fine.
Yeah, sorry. I know she doesn't know what to do.
She's adapting.
So anyway, one night I was unable to sleep, and I'm like, I want to look at some new stories. And there was this 2-sentence or 3-sentence thing about this murder that may have led to a haunting, and it was like 2 sentences with some names. And so I started digging, and I couldn't go to sleep. And I started finding things. And I started finding that this was a tale of obsession and fatal attraction and all this kind of thing. And Ted is sleeping next to me, and I'm like hitting him and I'm waking him up at like 3 a.m. going, Ted. But I found so much interesting history, all related to this that nobody's ever talked about. And I was just super intrigued. And so we added it into our ghost tour, and we also wrote a murder ballad about it because it was just so intriguing.
Yeah.
So anyway, this guy, it's 1865, and he's stalking this woman for 2 years, and she has to leave the area and go hide out somewhere. And she comes back and he comes back because he told everybody if she didn't marry him, he'd shoot her. And it goes on, and he ends up going to her house, and mistakenly, when her mother answers the door, shooting her mother to death. And it's this big, long thing. So it was so interesting to find all the interesting information, and then how they found him and everything that he did to stalk her, because stalking was going on in the 1850s or 60s, not just now.
Not like it is nowadays. It's easy nowadays. Just look up online.
Well, that's true. He was, I know. She had to tell all her family and friends she was going to Minnesota to visit family. And then instead she went to like Ohio, and he went to Minnesota looking for her, but eventually he caught up with her. So, but I'm just saying that it's so exciting when you find something from 2 or 3 sentences. I couldn't believe that I found graves and all the court documents and all of this stuff. So yeah, it's a really fun thing. Yeah. I probably interrupted and ruined the whole question. Sorry.
Oh, no, there wasn't really a question. It was just, a statement of, how we dig into this stuff, when you run the local stuff and you are a local and you're part of that community, you put your heart and soul into this. That's all there is to it. Unfortunately, there's other tour companies out there that don't do that.
And we're dealing. Yeah, and we're dealing.
Are you dealing with them?
Well, it started. We are starting to, and unfortunately, our entire any information that's public out there is now been co-opted, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
As someone else's, and I expected it, but I'm a little heartbroken because Ted spent 21 years researching. I've spent 17. It's really hard because this is kind of 2 decades of work.
And they just swoop in and take it from you.
Yeah.
And it's like you said too, Becky, that people use AI in different ways to construct these things, and they haven't done any of the local research. They just they surfed it with AI engines and then pump out a tour. And they're always pretty dramatically errant. When you see them, you can tell it was an AI effort. It's not hard.
Although maybe the general public can't.
Right. So,
and that's why we do these shows. And this is why, even on my website, I have other local tours, because if people were to just research and, look for that, first operated tour or locally operated tour or whatever on the website to know that they're the locals, and take that and not take that other tour, that other tour would go bye-bye and stop hurting people like us and stop taking from us. They don't do that research. They don't put their heart and soul in it. They could care less about the community. People like you, people like me, people like Kyyra, we actually care about our community. We want to actually get their stories out. We want to help promote them, and this other company does not want to do that. And
I'm sorry.
It's very frustrating.
It's really frustrating because we have, between our retail store and our tours, we probably have 6 employees. And those employees all live here, and they all pay taxes here, and they all purchase things here, and they all love this community, and they're here because they love this community, and they're trying to make a living, and they're trying to raise a family. And that money stays in Galena with the people that we hire, or the area, the really close area. And in other cases, it probably doesn't. And I think we just, we just did this play because Galena turned 200 years this year. So it's our bicentennial year. So we're doing all these, or the city is doing all these weird little events. And one event was a bicentennial play that a local person wrote. And Ted and I just performed in it. And the whole basis of this play was back in the 1960s, 70s, predatory consultants were coming in and trying to buy up properties so they could tear them down and build new, because the only way Galena was going to make it was to modernize. And really the only thing Galena has is its 8 blocks of historic Main Street that's full of boutiques and art galleries and restaurants and things, which has become, right, well, this year it was named one of the top 25 cities destinations in the United States to visit by TripAdvisor. So that's all we had. And the whole play was about that. And it was very interesting because it feels like some of these other tour companies that are coming in, I mean, I had a line in the play where it's just these consultants that have a plan to take money out of Galena. And that's what it is. It's just these companies that have a plan to take money out of a city.
Yeah.
And it's really hard because when you're part of Tucson or you're part of whatever, your heart is in that place and you want that place to be successful for the local people or the people who decide to come there and build their life there.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. It frustrates me. And like I said, that's one of the main reasons I keep doing this podcast. That's one of the main reasons, I have a page dedicated on my website to other local tours. It's just because of the fact that being a small business, being locally owned, I know what it feels like. And I'm seeing so many other tours like mine having these other, and there's more than one. There's a couple different ones.
Oh, I know there are. I know. I just don't want to name them.
Yeah, one's really like major. The other one's getting there, but I have 2 other tours that have moved into Tucson. None of them are locally owned. And, unfortunately, the one is a major problem. Because when you Google them, they'll like take your name, they take your ratings, they take everything from you. And it's like, wow.
We have a situation where they're promoting a location that is not haunted. And when we started our tour, we did the tour for a long time. Then, like Ted said, we took a hiatus and then we kind of rewrote the tour and we added some locations and we put some locations into a different tour. And when we were rewriting and adding some new locations, this one, we know the person who owns it. He said, we said, we're going to be outside your location. We're going to be talking about this other location. He goes, my location isn't haunted. And he's, can I say what he is?
Yeah.
He's he's a very great, he's a B&B, he's a B&B. And we're like, okay, cool. You're not haunted. We've never seen anything about you being haunted. And so we make a joke on the tour because everybody wants this location to be haunted. And we're like, sorry, guys, it's not haunted. And everybody, right. The whole front page of the website for this other tour is saying how horribly haunted it is with a photo of it and all of this stuff. And
harvested right off
of, even the photos harvested from this bed and breakfast website. And the owner is like, what just happened here?
Yeah.
So it's really imperative that we all have pages like you do where we support local ghost tours. We've done a lot of work talking to everyone in our city about supporting local, everybody who comes into our city supporting local, because again, this is something that people have researched, put their heart and soul into. Thank goodness you do this podcast. If we had any tech savvy at all, we'd do a podcast, but we don't.
We need a stand.
Yeah, we
Oh,
need to
trust me, I'm
learn.
not tech savvy. If it wasn't for Stan, our producer, I wouldn't be doing a show. So he handles all that behind the scenes stuff. I don't do that stuff because I suck at technology. So, oh, did Robyn and Ted freeze up?
I think they did.
Uh oh. They might have to restart. We'll give them a second. Yeah, it's so funny because, we're talking about that technology part. And
Always.
I kept saying, you know what? Why did I think it was a good idea to go back to school online?
Yeah. Yeah.
Technology hates me, but yet I'm doing online college.
Yeah, you're gonna be online a lot more.
Yeah. Well, luckily I have Aubrey, my daughter, who's a college student. And she literally had to walk me through step by step of how to do the slideshow for my first assignment because I had no freaking clue. And then I had to
Yeah.
record myself doing the presentation of it. And I'm just like, I'm really careful on what I'm pushing. So she'll hear mom, I'll do it. Oh, did we get
You're
you back?
I have no idea what happened. Sorry.
Oh, we were talking about technology. And, whenever you curse yourselves when you do that.
Exactly.
So,
All right. Well, we moved. Maybe we don't know. We are a small town. All right. So I'll be
fine.
quiet now. Sorry. I
was just saying that technology hated me anyway, and so we just kind of started talking about technology. So you're fine. Uh-oh, I think they froze up again.
Oh no.
Oh no. See, it's the whole technology thing. You talk about it and it acts up on you.
Yes.
It's cursed, I swear. Yeah, but I'm the thing about my college right now is every course is 5 weeks long.
Okay, so you're doing
it's
that
kind of
accelerated.
yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'm not good with technology. It's 5 weeks long. Yeah, good luck with this. Aubrey, come help. Oh,
Yay.
thank you. Yay.
Was it our end or your end? I don't know.
No, it's you. I hate to say that, but it's you because we just keep talking.
It keeps telling us that we're secure.
But
and connected.
But then it blacks out. We're sorry, crew.
Yeah, we don't know.
We'll try to keep it on. We moved our location where we are closer to our router at this point. So hopefully it stabilizes.
Okay. Well, technology is a funny thing. So, it happens. There's a show I did that I couldn't hear everyone and things kept freezing up, but it was on my end. So we just go with it and,
Okay. So anyway, maybe we better not talk about that anymore. I'll let Ted talk.
We'll move on and away from that one.
Yes, we will, because
the one thing I would say to you is that I think you're on the right track here, and that the one thing we've discovered is that there's always a risk of losing some market share. Consumers are pretty cagey and are starting to learn to look for authenticity and local experiences from local people that have the wherewithal to have lived this stuff and know a lot about it versus some AI kind of rip off or something coming into town that maybe isn't exactly authentic for them. So we try to push on our website the fact that we are the original. We've been here now for 30 years, locally owned, doing this stuff, and you can make your choice. I hope that consumers begin to really scrutinize where they're purchasing things coming into markets like Tucson or Galena or Boston or anywhere else where that local knowledge is huge. I mean, so and that is all.
Well, no, and on my tour, one of the things that I promote is the fact that most of the buildings on the tour we personally have investigated. So we have our own personal stories from them. It's not just something that you're going to find online. It's personal stories that we've experienced.
Right.
So it's not something, the AI is going to bring up, because I don't have it on AI.
Right.
We've kind of reached that point too, where we're not necessarily publishing all of what we have.
Well, we're in the process of writing a book about the hauntings and some of the true crime of Galena, which should be done fairly soon, because I really want to let people. It's a hard decision, but I really want people to have some ownership of all the research that we've done.
Right.
And I don't know if either of you have done that, but we want to catalog our stories in a way. Yeah.
No, we are actually, my book is actually going to be out probably within the next week or so. I don't know.
Congratulations.
Right now.
Yay.
I'm looking at probably May.
Yeah.
We have the Haunted Galena conference that is May 1st through the 3rd, and I would love to debut it there.
That'd be cool.
So that's my knock on wood, although I have a puppy now.
That won't be a distraction, though, will it?
It's a puppy, how can you not but just stare at it and be all, oh, I love you.
I know.
After your story, I immediately went and downsized the water bowl.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. Like she literally just got water everywhere.
Funny. Oh,
so I don't know if this is going to work very well because it's phone on screen.
I can see.
Oh yeah.
I'm paranormal. I like it.
It looks great.
Really cool.
Yep. And then the back cover.
Oh, I love it. Oh, look at you.
Yay.
Ooh.
Did you?
And I sent in all my pictures. I sent the last of my pictures in today. So I am working with a friend because I'm self-publishing. Are you guys going to self-publish?
Yeah.
We think so, but we do have a friend that's kind of a publisher, so they're giving us some advice, on how to go about that.
But it's definitely heading that way,
Yeah.
almost certainly.
Yeah. Well, I was, because I didn't want to try to find someone to, I didn't want the critique of you need to add this or you need to do that or, you need to change this. I wanted it to be mine.
Right.
So I knew right away I was going to self-publish because of that.
Cool.
Yeah.
But again, we won't bring up the word, but it hates me and I'm not good at it. So I was like stressing out because I own this company. I have, a paranormal team. I'm a full-time mom. I do this podcast. Now I'm a full-time college student. I have all this on my plate and I'm like, how am I going to self-publish this book when I know nothing about how to do it?
Right.
But luckily, with all my connections on Facebook and with doing this podcast, we had someone who was on our show, Joni, Kyyra. I'm not sure if you remember talking to her, but she has published 25 books of her own.
Wow.
And so when I kind of made the announcement of help, she's all, I can do it for a small fee. And I'm like, thank you. So she's formatting it. She's putting in all the pictures and she's all, it'll be done in like a week or two. And I'm like, oh.
That's kind of what our friend, an old high school friend of mine who has a publishing company, just said that one day. She's like, oh, I will help you do that part.
Yeah.
And again, it'll take so little time. They just know they have all the tools to do that. So congratulations.
It's really exciting.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm very excited about it. Kyyra did all the history of it.
Oh, yay.
Bravo.
So she did all the history in the book. My friend Mayla, who's the co-lead of our team, she did all the corrections of, grammar and spelling and all that stuff.
I have an editor.
Yeah, that's what May is. Well, because I have a tendency of once I start writing, I'm like nonstop. I go. And my brain's working faster than my typing.
Yeah.
So I do make a lot of spelling errors and things like that, or run on sentences because of the fact that I'm just going. So Mayla is always the one that has to sit there and correct me. And she's all, look, you forgot a period, or you did this, or you did that.
Yep.
Could you add it in?
Yeah. So they both did that. And luckily, we kind of knew what we were doing. And when I sent it over to Joni, she was like, "You're actually really good." She's like, "I'm not going to have to do a whole lot of work on this." And I was like, "Oh, thank God," because I was worried that we were horrible at this, Kyyra. I was so afraid.
No.
But she said it was fine. She was the one that suggested pictures though, because I was going to go without pictures.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how to do it. I didn't know how to add pictures to it. So I'm like, I'm just not doing pictures. But she knows how to do it. So for the past, few days, I've had to run around and look like a crazy, chicken with its head cut off, trying to get pictures.
That's going to be us, because our friend said the same thing. You need to have pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was afraid. I was afraid to do that because, like I said, I was thinking I was on my own, and I was like, I have no clue how I'm going to do this. But
us too. Yeah,
it's a lot,
Yeah.
But you've done it, and by all accounts, it looks like it's going to be available for all of us to purchase and support you, and that's an exciting thing. We're really happy. Yay.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Like I said, this weekend I'm going to finish everything up that needs to be finished up. So I'm hoping by next week or the week after it'll be completely done, and I can hopefully order like a hard copy of it to make sure it all looks right, and then we'll go from there.
Well, congratulations. You are my inspiration because we're that close, so
yeah. Well, good luck. It's just getting it done and not sitting on it. That was my problem.
Yep.
I kept sitting on it and sitting on it. My problem was, and you can ask Kyyra, I kept going back and wanting to add more and wanting to change this or wanting to do that, and finally everyone's like, you need to stop. You're never going to complete the book because you keep wanting to add or change this, or, they're like, just stop. It's fine.
Yeah.
I know. I could see us doing that, especially me finding some more new stuff to put in there. So, but hopefully I can rein that in a little bit.
New and improved, revised edition.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I told Becky, I was like, if there's something really like, if you don't want to do a second book or whatever, it's like you could always do like version 2 or edition 2 or whatever.
Revised.
Yeah. A couple new stories in there if you got it, and revise what you needed to do in the past, and you'll be all set.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing, man. And people buy those books. It's really funny. Here in Galena, there's one book that's been done. It's
like
called,
30 years ago,
and it's an okay book. I mean, it has the testimonies of some people who have experienced some things, and then a lot of newspaper articles from the 1800s detailing hauntings and encounters. But they're written by reporters in the newspapers. Oftentimes they're taken with a great degree of skepticism, if not outright disdain for the people who reported it. So, I think that taking all of the history of the town that we have and being able to then extrapolate our ghostly phenomenon, tie them together, and be accurate and true to the history, and yet have enough ghostly material that keeps the truly paranormal folks dialed in is it's a bit of a balancing act, isn't it?
It can be, for sure. But I think there's a lot of people that really, they like that history, they like the paranormal, they like the true crime, so all that combined and doing stuff like that, I think that really just draws the people in. We don't really have the true crime part in our parts. I mean, if we wanted to, we could probably research that more, but I mean, I don't really see that being a part of what we do right now. It's more the history and the ghost part. I don't really know of a lot of true crime here in Tucson. I mean, I know we've had some, like the what was that? The Piper. I can't even think of it right now.
Yeah, it's like a Pied Piper killer.
Yeah, something. I know we had that, but
it's funny because we didn't have a lot of crime here in Galena, but what we did have in the 1800s has for years been the hauntings have been attributed to it. And so it's just an interesting part. But then there's just weird things that have happened that have been where hauntings have been attributed to them. So it's not, we just have that little, so we talk about a lot of the hauntings, but a lot of them do have kind of a connection. But then, there's many other other stories too. But what's funny is this 30 or 40-year-old book that is really the only thing here. It really, none of our stories are in it. So I think it'll be a fun thing. I think that both books will be popular.
Yeah.
For people that like the kind of ghostly phenomenon and the hauntings. Yeah. So.
And that's cool. People they collect them. I don't know about you guys. Whenever I go anywhere, the first thing I do, museum or wherever I'm at, a good example, Williamsburg, Virginia. We visited a friend in the Outer Banks a few years back. Upon getting to there, I'm finding a bookstore and finding local ghost lore books, right? And I buy them. I mean, I don't usually get a chance to read them on the road, but I bring them home and I devour them when I'm here. And it makes me really happy. I've got a pretty good library of them, man. I collect them now. It's kind of like, okay, so so I'm glad to hear that now there'll be a palatable Tucson edition. We have to come down. Maybe we'll hike on Mount Lemmon and try to get some exercise in and then read your book. This will be exciting.
He's never been to Tucson. I was to Tucson. And darn it, I never went on a ghost tour. It was a number of years ago, but I think that your book will be so interesting. Yeah. So
yeah, it goes beyond Tucson. So it does focus on Tucson. But it's called On Paranormal for a reason, because I basically grew up with paranormal experiences and having them, all the time. So I've done, investigations outside of Tucson. I lived in haunted houses growing up. So it touches on all of that. And
fun.
Yeah, it's really funny because some of the things I had experienced, I didn't even realize was paranormal until later on in life, because of the fact that I grew up around, being told that you don't talk about it, that it's not normal, So things that I had experienced, I just never talked about. And I just figured it was normal stuff,
Yeah.
Do you, wow. Do you do any speaking at like paranormal conferences or go around and do speaking engagements in the area?
I have done a couple. I went to Eureka twice, Eureka, Nevada, and did Paracons in Eureka, Nevada. And then I put on a Paracon here in Tucson, but I didn't really focus on speaking myself. I am doing one in April, and this is going to probably be one of the first professional ones that I've done. And I'm hoping my book's ready to go by then too, so I have that ready at the Paracon. But I'm so like informal when it comes to stuff like that. Like, I don't like to lecture, so to say. I like to be relaxed, like the show. I like to talk about everything. I like to promote, the paranormal, but I'm not sitting there like at a slideshow going, and this is this, like, I'm just not that type of person. I'm just very laid back, like because the lecture for the 25th, they're like, oh yeah, and then we'll have the stuff that you can do your slideshow and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, do I have to do that? Because I don't have one. I'm not that technical. I don't do that stuff.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
No.
Well, cool.
Yeah, but it's exciting. And I do love, I don't mind talking to people. I know we have some team members that don't like to talk to people, and Kyyra's like giving that smile right now. She's like, I know exactly who she's talking about.
It's just so funny because we've done like the Q&A panel like at our Tucson Comic Con like twice. Now, at least since I've joined a team, I've done it twice. And it's so funny. So Becky talks the most, and then it's me second, and then the two other people who are like they hardly talk. And Becky's always like, okay, and now you're gonna answer it, and put it right in their face, and they're like,
They hate that. They hate it so much.
See, Ted always likes to answer questions, so like I just kind of do things like get a new puppy, and then I don't because. But I count on him all the time. If we ever have a panel or anything we have to do, it's him.
Wow.
I'm more the no.
It's
No,
fun.
that's how it is with us too. I'm always the one that does a lot of the talking, and then whenever it comes to anything historical or things like that, I'm like, and Kyyra, yeah.
Yeah,
And I let her handle all that.
exactly.
I will be honest, my issue is I am horrible with dates. Like if they ask me like, well, when did this
Oh,
happen? I would be like, hold on, let me go through my notes. I'm like, I'm horrible with stuff like that. I don't I remember like pieces of the history, but I don't remember the exacts,
yeah.
And Kira's, my go-to for that. Kyyra knows all that. So I'm like, ask her. She knows.
Let me check with my reference.
Yeah. Like, let me
Yeah.
check with my history book, Kyyra.
And I think like on tours, I don't know how many people are, really focused on like specific date time referencing, like this happened in 1855, January, boom, boom, boom. And I try to limit that a little bit because I think that on an entertainment product like a ghost tour, a lot of times we overwhelm them with a lot of data. And,
Yeah.
and so, but I think that the truth to that material is so important. And maybe we're geeks. I mean, I dig knowing that stuff. I want to hear when it happened, and I admire and I appreciate a guide who can tell me that yes, this happened there, or has a historian on board that can go, yeah, this is when it occurred, and here's the evidence, right?
Mhm.
I think that's dedication. And the good news is a lot of places aren't doing that, right? It's bad news actually, but good news for us. We're the people
Yeah.
that dig and get it, and at least have that at our disposal, so we can produce something that is going to be meaningful in a historic context.
And we will get people on tour that'll go, are you okay? Really? Was it really then? And it's really funny. So we do get challenged. So it's nice to have, even if we don't share it on the tour, it's nice to have that historic background. So
Right.
Kyyra, it's so important to have all that.
Thank you for what you do.
Or to prove them wrong when they're like, oh, no. And we're like,
Well, we get to do that every now and then.
Yeah. We had that happen, actually. We had that happen. We got challenged on my tour at the courthouse saying that no women had ever been hung here in Tucson.
Oh.
And Kyyra did her research and she found that, yes, a woman had been hung there.
Yeah.
But we did get challenged on that. And someone was like, no, they never, hung a woman here. And so I was like, okay, well, allegedly, because at the time Kyyra didn't, research it.
Right.
But then she went back and she researched it, and sure enough, she found it.
Oh yeah, that's happened to us too, and it always feels kind of good to know that you have that answer for them.
Yeah.
Why do people have to be like that? Come on, man.
They gotta be the smartest one in the
I was
room.
gonna say they have to,
Yeah,
They've always gotta be the
smartest one in the room.
We do some paranormal and have had some paranormal experiences, but we really try to be a good storytelling outfit in the sense that we'll take that history and those paranormal stories from our own experience and from others and blend that into a compelling narrative. We want people to be kind of creeped out. That's important too. And I always go back to like, it's really sitting around a campfire telling scary stories to get everyone creeped out. And I've never lost that. I was a Boy Scout, I guess. I don't know. And I think that's an important part. But it's not just a Scout thing. I think for a lot of years, civilizations and cultures relied on passing down valuable lessons about their culture and communities and survivability. In that environment. So
through storytelling and ghost stories, yeah.
So as a folklorist or a storyteller, I think it's really cool that tradition kind of lives on a little bit in what we do, right? And you guys too. And so people take those and they hear them, but hopefully they go home and think about these things a little bit and go, wow, that. What if, and hey, I realized
that
something.
Was cool, yeah.
It provides some context and meaning maybe into their lives, and understanding history and understanding our culture and place in the world, and that goes deeper than just history, metaphysical kind of ideas and concepts. I liked your guys' front page. You had the Knights Templar. You had a ghost, and and then the pyramids, and and it was like kind of everything under the moon, which was really a neat logo, by the way.
That's
We
actually Stan's. So
Yeah,
that
it's just
our producer Stan has that background.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but I liked it. I like that holistic kind of. If we're going to cover the the mysterious, the esoteric.
Everything. Well, unfortunately, it has been almost an hour. So, what we want to do before we let you go, Ted and Robyn, is we want you to be able to tell everyone, where to find you, everything that you do, all of that stuff, so we can promote you, get you out there. So, if you'd like to do that. Oh no! Don't tell me they froze.
And I was like, "You're frozen again."
Oh no! Well, hopefully they can come back and they can do that before we have to let them go. And I didn't even bring up the word technology either.
I
I'm
know.
like,
Okay.
I was avoiding that word. It looks like they're thinking here. Their little
Yeah.
icon there, thinking. I hate that when I get that icon when I'm trying to do work and it's just that little circle. I'm like, oh, seriously,
Yeah.
come on.
I have patience for most things. Like, I work with kids, I work with people teaching kids, and like, I have patience for lots of things. Technology is like the one thing I don't have patience for. So
Especially when you get that little circle.
when this happens, this is when I go 0 to 1,000. I could be at work, even when I taught, kid throw a chair at me. Yes, I got mad, but I get so madder so much faster when it's anything to do with technology not working the way it should be.
Yeah, I would get so frustrated when I'm like trying to I was trying to go through and find pictures for the book. And I'm like scrolling through some old pictures trying to get some. And I kept getting like that circle, because I would try to scroll up, to find them and I would get that circle. And then it would finally scroll up, but it would be repeating the pictures. And I was like, I'm like,
And I'm like, I have like a million. I feel like I have like a million pictures. I have like 12,000 pictures or whatever on my phone, and so it's just like, oh, great. So the only I found the ones I did is because thankfully everything's like geotagged. So then I was like, Tombstone for location, and pulled up all the pictures I've ever taken while within the realm of Tombstone. That's how I was able to That's how I'm able to find it. I was like, otherwise, no way.
No way. It looks like we lost them. Oh,
Okay,
wait.
they're coming.
Oh, yay, they're back.
We're back, guys. And I see it's just about time to wrap it up too. So
Yeah, exactly. I was actually just telling you guys that before we let you go that we wanted you to do all this stuff and then you disappeared on us. But yeah, we want you to be able to tell our audience where you're from, where to find you, everything that you do. That way you can promote yourself and go ahead and go.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you very much to you too. What a great conversation. We appreciate it. We are Robyn and Ted. We own the Haunted Galena Tour Company in Galena, Illinois. It is a year-round operation, and you can reach us at hauntedgalena.com. We do walking ghost tours in season, pretty much April through the end of October, and when it's nice and warm. But we also do a Saturday tour called the Spirits and Spirits Tour year round. That involves some drinking. We also have the Haunted Galena Conference, which this year runs May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. It's a wonderful conference. It's almost get a lot of authors and writers and researchers who come in and provide the keynote speaking spots in the conference. It's a great blend of the historic and the paranormal, and it's a really fun thing to come. Our people that come to this have become really loyal. They come back year after year. It's almost become a tribe. It's neat. We rent the entire DeSoto House Hotel for it, which is a great haunted location, and it's really fun. Then finally, we'll be doing a show called Murder and Mayhem. We do that once a month. It's an indoor version of our ghost tour in the basement of the DeSoto House Hotel. And we add music to that. There's actually complimentary desserts along with it and a cash bar. So that's actually really fun. And you don't have to walk. You can sit down and enjoy, have a drink, and watch us go.
Oh, very cool.
Finally, the Dowling House is a historic site, open mid-May through the end of October. It's a historic site in Galena, Illinois. It is the oldest freestanding stone building or stone house, I should say, in the state of Illinois, and is a museum. And it's very much like the trading post that it was back in 1826. It's a great educational thing, and you never know, while you're taking your Dowling tour, you might get a bump or a knock or something weird happening. We've had some odd photos, right? Anything to add? I think that's about. Oh, our retail shop, A Darkness Lovely, part metaphysical, part fiber arts. We do carry embroidery kits, but we also carry Ouija boards. We carry everything in between. It's a really fun shop, and people that come to it have told us over and over again that they think it's just the most compelling and fun shop in Galena. So we'd love to see you at the store. We'd love to see you on tour. Again, hauntedgalena.com is our website.
Come and promote your book at our conference.
Come and promote your book at our conference. We'd love to have you, man. So,
All right.
So nice meeting you two. Thank you for what you do, and it's important to the community of ghost tours, especially local efforts. We so admire that, and we appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight, despite the technology.
Oh, technology sucks anyway, but you are quite welcome. I thank you for coming on tonight. Keep me updated on your book and everything. I would love to read it when it comes out.
Maybe we could do a swap. Ooh.
Maybe.
Yes.
That sounds good to me.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night and enjoy
You
that
too.
puppy.
Oh, we sure will. Good night.
Good night. Oh my goodness. So yeah, technology. What can we say, right?
Yep.
That was the main reason I was so thankful to get the help for the book, though, because that was the one thing that I was literally stressing about was how am I going to format this? And how long is it going to take me to do that?
Yeah.
I was like, can anyone else do it, please? It's done. I don't know what to do anymore. But yes, I'm excited because she said it won't take long to get it out. So we have to do the final touches this weekend because I won't have any more time this week because I got to start schoolwork tomorrow. So Saturday, I'll finish up anything I need to finish up. Hopefully she'll have it done because I'm sure she'll be telling me what I need still, and I'll do that on Saturday. And hopefully within the next couple of weeks, it'll be live, I'm hoping. So all that work and all that sitting on it for all these years, it's finally going to be out there. So
yeah.
It's
And
what it
I
is.
started helping you on it. Oh, when was it? It was summer of 24. So it's been it's been a year and a half, more than a year and a half. So like almost 2 years.
Yeah.
I know that I've been helping with it on it. So
I know. And that's like my main reason for finally just saying, okay, I'm just going to put it out there. Because to me, I want perfection. And I know perfection does not exist in my eyes.
yeah.
Because of the fact that, I'm going to go over it. And I'm going to be like, oh, I don't like what I said there. Or, oh, I remember this, that happened. Or, it's just, I had to stop sitting on it. You put in so much hard work. May has put in work. And I'm just like, I can't do this to you guys. I can't keep sitting on it. I have to put it out there. So it's going to be out there. I'm very nervous, but excited. It's kind of nerve-wracking to know that people are going to be reading. Well, I'm hoping people will read it.
Yes, people read it.
I'm like, I hope people will read it. But it is kind of nerve-wracking, and it's exciting though. And, there's so much going on. I got so much going on, personally with going back to school. I'm excited about that too, but still nervous because like I said, technology hates me and I'm doing everything online and the courses are like 5 weeks long. So it's like boom, boom, boom. Yeah. And, I have to keep up with all of this. And it's just like, but I made myself a schedule. So like Mondays, I worry about the company, the emails, the, getting stuff up online that I need to get up, the podcast when we do the podcast. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are my school days to do my schoolwork. Thursday, if I didn't get it all done on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, Thursdays I have set aside to do some schoolwork. Fridays and Saturdays are usually the days that, we have the ghost hunts and stuff like that. So I focus on that. And Sunday is definitely my family day. So, I'm like, I have to have a day where I have nothing. So I got a schedule. I'm hoping I stick with it. I'm hoping I can, be disciplined and do it. This past weekend, I even started, because I was like, I want to get in better shape too. We went hiking, and I'm not a
Okay.
hiker, but we went hiking this past weekend, and oh my goodness, my leg was feeling it. The only problem is we didn't get to go too far because I have like a bum knee, and that's another reason why I want to get in shape, because I want to kind of build up down my type thing and get that knee to be better. But the path we were on was in a mountain, of course, but it was all rocks. It was like a very rocky path, so that really bothered my knee a lot. So I was like, okay, I can't do it any further because they're starting to bother my knee, and we had to stop and come back. But I think it was about a mile that we ended up doing, so not too bad for my first
Yeah,
time.
it's not
And
bad. Yeah, on the rocks too. Like whenever I
yeah.
do hiking or whatever, I'm clumsy, so I'm always worried about falling more than more than anything.
Oh my god, we were in okay, so we went to what is that called, Madeira Canyon.
Okay, yeah,
And the one path we're on, okay, it's rocky, but it's also like there's a cliff, and literally there's only like a path where one person can walk, and there's this cliff, and I'm like, holy crap.
yeah. See that? I
I'm
would
like,
yeah,
one
no, no,
little
no.
wrong move, and you're like, boom, down the
I
hill.
don't have that much faith in myself or my steadiness.
Yeah, I'm walking it, and I'm like, I'm gonna be honest, this is a little scary.
Hmm. Yeah,
So that was a little, challenging for me, but I did it, and I
yeah,
survived it. So I was happy with myself, and so Will and I decided, because it's family time, it gets us out of the house until it gets extremely hot. I will not be doing it in the extreme heat.
yeah,
But we're going to try to go hiking every weekend, for the next few weeks while the weather's still decent.
yeah.
um because once it hits 100 degrees here, there's no freaking way I'm doing anything outdoors.
No, well, it's like you're part of Tucson. You're fairly close to Saguaro National Park, so like there's a lot of really good stuff in there, like
Yeah,
in that
well,
area. So
that's what I told my son. Let's try to find the paths that aren't so rocky, because then I can
yeah,
probably go further. But
yeah,
just being on those rocks, my ankle and everything, kept twisting different ways, and my knee, and I was like, okay,
yeah.
I can't do
Wear a
this.
knee brace. I was gonna say
Yeah,
wear a knee brace
I was telling Will, I'm like, I need a walking stick.
or those. I have like hiking poles. I haven't used it. My stepdad uses the little like walking pole. Like, okay,
Well, in that one area, I wouldn't have even had room for them.
yeah,
I'm like, it was scary. I was scared. But yeah, just a lot of new adventures, and I'm excited and nervous about all of them. But it is what it is. And I'm really hoping, and I've been talking to you and the team that, I do want to continue the paranormal. I don't want to just give it up, but, I had to do something that I normally don't like doing, which is asking for help. Uh, I'm pretty bad about asking for help when it comes to certain things. And, I'm like, okay, I want to keep this going, but, I do need people to help. Like I asked Stan to help me find guests for this show. I've
yeah,
asked, you guys on the team to keep Facebook active, and doing this and that, and to find new locations to go. Because I can't do it all on my own. And I know this. And I also know that I am going to have to let a couple things go, but we'll get to that later in the year.
yeah,
But it's exciting new stuff, and we're moving forward. And what we got coming up is we got Undertakers on the 7th, and on Friday the 13th we have the tour Tucson's Haunted History. Pretty much I think every weekend, and definitely on Friday the 13th. We have a new market that we're doing called Tucson Terror and Oddities Market. It's with my friend Tamara. That's on March 14th. Check out our Facebook page. That is, usually up to date with everything we're doing. I did get a new website. It's still TucsonGhostCompany.com, but it's styled differently. And we do have a new booking site. Long story and sad story. The last booking site kind of dropped me because I made a complaint. And it turned out to be a miserable thing. So I went through this new company, and they also do websites. And I'm like, you know what? Go ahead, take over my website. One less worry for me. So everything's newly styled, new booking site, but go check that out, TucsonGhostCompany.com. We're going to keep it going as long as we can. We're going to keep this podcast going as long as we can, every other Monday. If we don't have a guest, I'm not sure if you and I will come on. I guess it'll depend on our mood and what we got going on. But if you're interested in being a guest, definitely contact us and let us know. We are here to promote other, local companies, local teams, things like that, especially local ghost tours. I want to get word out there to shop local for sure. So, Kyyra, it is that their time. We ran a little late, but we also started a little late. So, what would you like to tell everyone?
Yeah. Thanks for joining, everybody. Sorry. And I was like, my voice is getting shot. So, as always, stay spooky.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to Ted and Robyn tonight. We really appreciate you. I love when we get good guests like that. I love talking to people. Remember, TucsonGhostCompany.com. Book local. If you're not in Tucson, look for the original and locally owned, operated ghost tours. We're it for Tucson, TucsonGhostCompany.com. Check out our Facebook page and check us out in 2 weeks here on our podcast. We thank you for listening. And until we talk to you again, remember, you are never truly alone. Good night, everybody.